Hey there, it's Andrea, and welcome to the registration page for Level 2 of the 5-day Set Your Human Design Foundations Challenge. Mostly what's interesting about that, perhaps, is that the 5-day challenge is mostly on me, because it's the way that I've set up to create this content is to do it in 5-day little sprints, so that the stuff gets out of my head and onto recorded material so that everybody can, going forward, can access it. You go at whatever pace you want to go at. Level 2 is about the next layer of chart that's called beneath the line. So we have gates and lines. The lines is the decimal point that's on every gate number. And then beyond that, there's a level called there's the variables, which are the 4 arrows that are near your head center and ajna center, if you have a chart that has those. A lot of the beginner charts don't have, the basic free charts don't have that included, but some of them do. So you may see those arrows, and they point left or right, and they indicate stuff. And the difference between rightness and leftness can be vast and fascinating, and whether it's your variables or somebody else's who you're working with or living with or whatever that get to be understood is yet to be seen. But it's really interesting, or it can be, to know the differences between those, the qualities of those arrows. And if you have a chart from me, and you're welcome to ask for one if you don't, it's like an extended chart, which includes this layer that's color and tone. You may have heard of that. And what it refers to, or what it tells us information about, are the 4 transformations, which are digestion, or called determination on a lot of charts. The second one is environment. The third one is perspective or view, and the fourth one is called motivation, sometimes called awareness. The point is that this is a layer of the chart that is typically not available to anyone unless they've been in their experiment for, sometimes some people will do a reading if you've been in an experiment for a year. Sometimes people will not touch you until you will not even believe that you're ready for the information until you're 3.5 years in. There's kind of a funny reason for that that's not related to us as the receivers. It's more about them as the learners, but not even important to our purpose, because I pretty soon after I started my own experiment, which was in July of 2015, I needed this information. I needed it to be able to even begin my experiment. And so unless you need motivation, in which case I would sort of lend a cautionary note to determine, really dig and see if this is for you, because I am the opposite of that. And if you're not already in your experiment and knowing what that is to you, then I could what's the right word? I could take you on the wrong path, because I'm the transference of your particular motivation. Anybody else, I feel like this information can only help you to know what's coming and to know what's potentially coming. It's not there's no guarantees in any of this, but to know like what it is that you might experiment with, or where, or under what circumstances you might experiment with what you're digesting, what your ideal environment may look like. In my case, it was just a verification that I was already and had already been doing and living in sort of the realms that could qualify under this particular environment that I have. I made a video about it. It's internal markets, if that's yours. There's a video on YouTube. Go find it if you'd like to listen. But yeah, to me it was hugely validating, and the part that is my digestion piece was fascinating to begin to play around with without any super requirements on myself, no expectations. A lot of human design is really just about watching and noticing and seeing where you're in line with what your design is on the paper and where you're not. not trying to be the thing, but just noticing that maybe you're making decisions that are taking you away from whatever the thing is that's your possibility. I guess that's the best way to say it. Anyway, this is the registration page for digging in on all of that stuff. If you find that the timing is right for you, if it's a question mark, consult your whatever you need to consult. Your inner authority is ultimately the decision maker in everything that you do. For folks who have a more instant inner authority like splenic or sacral, gets the splenic, you may or may not hear it right away. You may just know that it's time to click the button below. Sacral gets somebody to ask you questions. Do you want to, or I'll ask you, do you want to take this class with me? Uh-huh or uh-uh. And it's really that simple for you guys. Other people have more of a process, and follow that process, whatever it is. It's not that big of a commitment, but again, any decision that you make takes you on a different trajectory, and if this is for you, you'll know it. And if it's an unclear, then don't do it right now. Okay? So if it's for you, click the button below or to the side. It might be to the side that way or that way. I'm not sure which. And if you're on what I'm intending to do is this is getting recorded live. So the first round of folks are getting the live version. If it's not March of 2020, then you're getting a recorded version. However, and if you need this to be part of your decision, then check in and see if there is a recording, a visit happening. So quarterly or so. My thought is to do a reboot of the Q&A section, the video meetings, 5 days in a row, for people who have questions and want to engage in that part, and it'll add to the content that ends up being saved into the member areas. So that's true for level 1 and level 2. So yeah, if this is for you, welcome, and I'll see you inside the product, the program, the content. See you later. Talk to you soon. Bye.